If you want one quotation from Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde that arguably unlocks the meaning of the entire novella, I would choose Jekyll's description of the curse of mankind, that these incongruous faggots were thus bound together, that in the agonised womb of consciousness, these polar twins should be continuously struggling. This is an extraordinarily rich quotation because Stevenson moves beyond the story of one man and begins making a philosophical statement about human nature itself. And importantly, as top students, you do not need to memorise this as one enormous quotation block. Examiners often prefer essays that embed smaller quotations fluidly and selectively. What matters is remembering the key micro-quotations within the line and unpacking them precisely. So rather than memorising the whole sentence mechanically, remember this: curse of mankind, agonised womb, polar twins, continuously struggling. Those smaller phrases are easier to deploy naturally and give you far more analytical flexibility in the exam. The phrase curse of mankind is immediately significant. The noun curse carries biblical connotations of original sin, suffering, and punishment after the fall of man. Stevenson therefore suggests that duality is not unique to Jekyll. It is an unavoidable condition of being human. Importantly, the focus broadens from one individual to mankind universally. The novella stops being merely a Gothic mystery here and becomes a meditation on the divided nature of humanity itself. This links directly to Victorian society itself. Stevenson was writing within a culture obsessed with respectability, repression, and rigid public morality. Many Victorian gentlemen were expected to conceal desire, weakness, and moral imperfection beneath a performance of civility. The novella therefore reflects anxieties surrounding secrecy, double lives, and psychological consequences of repression. Stevenson intensifies the suffering through the phrase, agonised womb of consciousness. Normally a womb symbolises birth and creation, yet Stevenson modifies it with the adjective agonised, suggesting that human consciousness itself is painful. The mind becomes a site of suffering and internal conflict. Self-awareness is not liberating but torturous because human beings are constantly aware of their own contradictory desires. The metaphor of polar twins develops this further. The adjective polar emphasises absolute opposition, suggesting that good and evil exist as opposing forces within the self. Yet the noun twins is equally important because twins remain fundamentally connected. Stevenson therefore suggests that morality and immorality cannot be completely separated. Jekyll's fatal mistake is believing he can divide the self cleanly into pure good and pure evil. Finally, Stevenson concludes that these opposing selves are continuously struggling. The adverb continuously is crucial because it implies permanence. There is no final resolution, no stable purity, no escape from duality. Stevenson rejects the comforting idea that human beings can eliminate darkness entirely. Instead, the novella suggests that inner conflict is an inevitable part of human existence. This is why the quotation is so useful for almost any essay question. Whether the focus is violence, secrecy, science, fear, reputation, or morality, Stevenson's larger message remains consistent. Human beings are psychologically divided, and societies which attempt to repress that division entirely may ultimately create greater monstrosity. In many ways, Hyde is not simply the horror of the novella. Hyde is the consequence of refusing to acknowledge what already exists within humanity itself.